Let's go to the truck now. Sean Holley is there. And Sean, will you start me to waxing lyrical about this Gregor Townsend-inspired offloading game that Glasgow produce week on week, but it's their defence as much as anything else that's allowed them to climb up the table this year.
Yeah, I spoke to Jonathan Humphreys in the week, and the Scotland management are delighted with this Glasgow squad, Ross. And they bring great attacking flair, but huge physicality in their defence as well. And they'll be rubbing their hands with the conditions tonight coming down to Park of Scarlets. Gregor Townsend will focus on Rhys Priestland, but they are really aggressive and get off the line. Look how quickly they get into position, and this is important. They will press high on the field and really force Priestland from the outside and spook him to kicking into touch and back inside. It's going to be a real vulnerable spot for the Scarlets tonight, because they'll get line up on. Now look, when they defend, they put 9 in the 5-metre channel and 7 off the tail. This is important for later on, as I'll show you in the phase play. They don't overcommit in this tackle area. See Strauss, who's playing tonight, I circle this area, they just fold around and keep numbers on their feet. You see this white or blue wall, and they can contain the runners then, you know. So the tackler works to get off his feet and get back on and try and get to the ball. Again, they don't have some of these players tonight, but it's still a system that's in place to allow them to have this wall of defence. Right, the 7 is then lurking. That'll be Chris Fasaro tonight, and he looked to seize his opportunity and get over the ball and win turnovers. They're very clever in this area. Look at the tackler. He gets back to his feet, cause enough disruption to the clean out to then go back in and force a turnover penalty. There'll be lots of these instances in these conditions tonight, Ross.
Let's hope so. Well, Sean, you've not got much to get your teeth stuck into in that opening 40, but interesting, Glasgow are forced into that early tactical substitution in the front row.
Yeah, I thought it'd be nice to look at two youngsters with contrasting fortunes, Ross. And the first one is Xander Ferguson, who from Glasgow was named a tight head. A bold decision by Gregor Townsend at 18. And you can see here he was under pressure early on. Rob Evans is an explosive scrummager, and there's not a lot of feedback. That's the only issue I have. Yes, he goes down. There's not a lot of feedback given by the referee. You see, it doesn't seem much wrong with that. Both props are potentially at fault, and yet he's often replaced, young 18-year-old. And Stefan Evans, it's sometimes can be a lonely place in these conditions at fullback, a youngster. He hadn't touched the ball for 10 minutes here, and he puts in a lovely raking kick. And then not long after, he intervenes in the outside channel and has the confidence to just show and go, just a little spark of interest from him, and there's a nice young talent there. I'd just like to see Xander Ferguson a little bit more on the field.
Indeed. Thanks, Sean. Well, talking of defensive issues, Sean, before the game, you highlighted Glasgow's defence and how crucial that's been to their rise at the table. But the Scarlets shown some pretty cute defensive ploys today.
They've been excellent in defence, Ross. Very physical, getting off the line, very organised, and they have some clever little intricate things. Gareth Owen, an outside back here, he gets in and rips the ball out in a crucial area. I talked about the tackler, John Barkley. He gets to his feet and he provides a buffer for the arriving players. It's very difficult to clear and roll a guy like that out when he gets to his feet, and legally he can, after the tackle, stand up. And we've talked about James Davis, Jonathan Davis's brother. Here he puts a man and ball turnover tackle in, again in a crucial position. But all that defence against a good Glasgow attack, and they rue not going for this 3 points against a dangerous Glasgow team.
And ultimately, although they blew a few opportunities, we'll come to those in a moment, they took their chance when it really mattered in the last few minutes.
Yeah, Ross, it just needed one score really to get away, because it was so tight and so tetchy, but eventually they got over and probably deserved the win in the end. There's a little half break here. There's a little step, creates that half a gap. And now here, the defender's spacing that I praised before the game is too big. This gap for somebody like Rodri Williams is too inviting. This player, Strauss, needs to be in closer. And the rule for coaching and defence here, if the 9 runs, the second man jams in on him, because it's too much to do for the first defender. It's a lovely break, great support from Adriansi on the inside. And then it was all about being very direct and playing off 9. Phil John making his 300th appearance tonight, does the first bit, and my coach Rory Pittman, he's very difficult to stop there, so it was a telling moment.
Thank you, Sean. Let's go back to Sean, because Sean, we did mention plenty of missed opportunities that they could have rued. They don't matter now, but let's just remind ourselves of a few of those.
Yeah, all in the second half, Ross. They played some good stuff in the conditions and broke away. Man of the match, James Davis. Look at the speed on him. That's a 7s for you. Like his brother, they can shift off that first 10 or 20. And Gareth Owen recognises that Robinson is free. It's just not good enough in the skill department. I liked Stefan Evans. He had a good game and he was prepared to have a go. This is a great break. And he showed good vision. You know, again, with Robinson, but he sort of loses his stride here and doesn't quite get over. I was disappointed at how wide they didn't succeed in getting over. And I'll tell you why. You know, now, because as Shingler passes the ball to Pittman here, in these conditions, you can coach guys to slide in, you know, really go for it. And if you're not confident, as Jonathan said, use your brother on the inside. There's not going to be much fun in their house tonight, is there, with the two of them? And then lastly, just at the end, Priestland just puts it through the hands. And again, Stefan, he's just a little bit naive here. Ball in two hands, he should have given it early. And they still would have had a two-man overlap with Taji Takenbow strolling in. So they got their reward in the end, thankfully. But there's still some work to do on the training field.
Thank you, Sean.